So, this morning we are chatting to Kelly Jean all about her founding journey of Jean Kelly Baby Bags, the baby bag that we all absolutely love. And if, like me, you didn't own one, you really wanted one because they are beautiful, they are stylish, they have like all the perfect compartments that every new mum needs. They're easy to wipe down if they get messy, just a perfect baby bag to start your journey as a new mum. So I'm really excited to hear about how she started, her ideas for this luxury baby brand, and yeah, see what she has to say.
Oh
No.
gosh. Okay.
Okay, Kelly, welcome. We are so excited to have you here today. I want to start with a big question. So, Jean Kelly, it has become this brand that I feel like every new mum knows about. And that is something that has been such a goal for me. On my vision board, I want every single mum to know about my brand by whatever year. And I feel like you've done it. So, I'd love to have you talk us through the journey of how you started this incredible brand and where you are now.
Okay. Hi. Thanks for having me. Yeah. I've been going for a very long time, so I think that's possibly why people have got to know me. But my mom actually she started the all leather baby shoe company called Shoe Shoes originally, and that's how I sort of got into the baby world. So it was before I had kids, but I noticed that there was a lack of sort of stylish nappy bags out there. This was 13 years ago, and then thought that yeah, moms could do with a bag that they could feel good about and use after the baby, like as a work bag or travel bag. It didn't have to be just with baby,
Mhm.
and the dads too. That's why the backpacks and that are also very popular. um and yeah, so I was really lucky just to have my mom because she was so experienced in manufacturing locally and in leather as well, and her creativity and just yeah, her
Yeah.
business, which she started also later when she was 40 and grew it into incredible business. Yes.
That's amazing. I didn't know that. So what like a awesome guide to have, someone that has kind of done all the things before you and then can teach you so you can just improve on it. Are you guys
Yes.
based in the same factory?
So no, so my mom sold it almost 10 years ago,
Okay.
which she was devastated about because it was her
Oh,
baby for 20
oh,
years. But yeah, business, I mean, manufacturing, it's can be, it's hard work. And anyway, yeah, so they sold, and my dad was involved as well. And then she's been helping me ever since, which has been wonderful. And like I say, I've learned a lot from her. And yeah, so my mom helps me with everything from
that
packing parcels to yeah.
that is so, so special. And I know with, I mean, now it makes more sense because you've had, well, your mum has had Shoo Shoes and you've gone to Jean Kelly. But it feels like when you work with your brand or when I see your brand, there are things that have really carried out, and I've been following you for a long time. There are things that have really carried out from the beginning. And I would love to know from when you started your brand, what were some of the things that were really important to you, and have you kind of kept that? Have they stood the test of time as you've scaled your business? Or are there things that were important to you at the beginning when you started that now you've changed your mind on? You're like, actually, that's not that important, and this is more important?
I would say quality is a big thing. So I've always been very big on quality
Mhm.
and customer care. That's been one of my biggest things. So I've always wanted people to know that they can contact me if there's like ever a problem or if they aren't happy about something, or sometimes like things happen where maybe they've missed a stitch or something, they need a repair. And
Yeah.
that's where I sort of fully guarantee my products because we locally made, we can, so people can same thing back if they need repair, but to be honest, it's not very often, which is great. So I think my quality is good.
Amazing.
But on the odd occasion, if people need to, then yeah, so that would probably be my biggest thing. And then just being there in terms of like answering questions and yeah, being available and very, yeah, personable with my customers, which is why I still run the markets and I engage with customers and I get, yeah, such good feedback, um, being like face to face and interacting.
So I want to comment on both of those topics because that's both of those are really a direction that I want to go. And let's start with the whole thing of customer care because I feel like that is such an important thing. But also I know as for myself, someone who's growing a business and there's more clients, there's more customers, there's more questions. How have you really managed that juggle and that demand of customer satisfaction when they do need you or want to talk to you? Um, yeah, have you really handled that time that it takes to have such good customer care?
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm not very good with my time. That's I'm often working late at night and all of that. Yeah, sort of it is a juggle, which I think all the mum business owners know.
Mhm.
But then it is great that I have my own time, so that I have the flexibility, and when I need to, then I look after my girls and do those sort of things. But then I have got then I do it does sort of mean that I have to work often at night and that, but that's just the compromise one makes. Um, so yeah, I suppose you never really switch off as your own business owner.
So true. And that's something that I feel like, yeah, so many of us are juggling, and is that something that you feel like you could hire somebody to do that same job? Well, I know, I mean, now there's so many tools like automations and AIs and things like that. Do you feel like Gene Kelly would use those things, or do you feel like the the correspondence needs to be person to person and particularly you to the person?
Yeah, I don't know. I suppose it's one of those things that many people do delegate out, and maybe you do get to a point where you need to. But
Mm,
I seem to manage to sort of keep on top of things. But yeah, there definitely are tools and ways. I know, like even now with I've just launched my website now with Shopify,
mhm.
and even that on the back end, they're always doing things where it almost learned your language, and there are ways that you can prompt and sort of do things. But maybe I'll get there in the end. But yeah, at the moment, it's just very much person to person.
Well,
Yeah.
well done. Because yeah, that is something, like I said, that I've, because we do get such a high traffic of people and messages and things like that. So we have had to use things like mini chats and chatbots, and I just feel like it's not the same. I mean, it does start to recognize the way that you talk, and it does adjust it and adapt it. But people know what's AI, and I do just feel like it's so different, particularly when you are working with people and with mums that want a little bit more comfort and they want to know that their questions are answered by a person. And
Yes.
that's been a very big juggle and decision for me. Like, how do I keep that personal part of my business as it starts to grow?
Yes.
Mm. And then back to the question on quality. And that is something that I do know about your business, in that you just have the most beautiful bags. They are gorgeous. Everybody knows that. But they are on the higher price range. And that's something that, and a lot of our boss mums are kind of struggling in that economy of, particularly with things like Timu coming in and Shane and all these knockoff brands. How have you kind of navigated that, and what has been your journey on keeping that quality so high, particularly as costs increase and then obviously your prices have had to increase? And do you ever get kickback on that? And how have you really maintained that quality in maybe an economy that kind of expects you to be cheaper and be like faster and yeah.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's very difficult. And I mean, competing, especially say with my non-real leather bag,
Mm,
that's one that's particularly difficult because I'm like blown away at what comes like from China. It's like
yeah.
it's like sold for not even my cost price. So it's just like how it even that's the end price. So it's just
Mm,
yeah, it's quite frightening what's made out there, or yeah, I suppose labor costs and things.
yeah.
Um, but I think, like, when it comes to local, I mean, a lot of people appreciate local business and obviously that you're supporting people and that. So people, but in the same breath, people also are after price, and we're all guilty of that,
Mhm.
often. We go for something that's cheaper. But I have found sort of a shift in that people are investing in leather in that it lasts.
Mm.
So they sort of, it's sort of they're making a plan, like even like I do lay-bys or anything, people can pay me over a few months, if necessary. And then once they've paid in full, then we deliver the bag. But if you look after leather, it lasts. So it could get you through all your kids, you could use it afterwards. So it's sort of that penny wise, pound foolish thought where I think a lot of people have realized, obviously if you might end up buying then so many cheap and nasty bags that it would almost amount to the same at the
Mm.
end of the day as a leather bag. And then leather unfortunately is an expensive material. Um, so and manufacturing locally. So it is hard in that higher price point, and it's also very competitive as well, which
Mhm.
is why I have to do these markets and be present, because even though I've been in the market for a long time, it doesn't mean that necessarily every mum knows me, especially the new mums. Um, Obviously, there's a lot of word of mouth, and people are very loyal and kind, and spread the word amongst their friends and family. But yeah, there's always competition, which is a good thing as well. Keep one on your toes.
Mhm.
But I have had to also look at possibly like even my accessories and all my little things, sort of more doing high volume on those items.
Okay.
Um, and even now with my new website, I'm going to look at a lot of people are shipping overseas. So just expanding the market a bit.
Mhm.
Yeah, because it's sort of, I suppose, dollar rand or something. But anyway, all things I need to explore
Yeah.
in time. But yeah.
I mean, that's
Mhm.
amazing to hear that you have seen that there is a shift happening. And I mean, maybe on the back end of being able to import things from China for such cheap prices, maybe that is what people are realizing is their homes are filling up with this junk that breaks really quickly. And like you said, your bags, they last from one baby to the next, to the next. You can give it to your cousin to use for her babies. And is that something, again, just for our mums who are navigating those same things? Is that something that you have had to really speak about in your marketing? Or how have you found a way around kind of selling a luxurious or higher priced item? Do you have to talk about it, or do you just feel like your right audience will come and find you?
Um, I suppose there is especially in South Africa, there's a lot of leather bags,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of brands, and even the non-baby brands are now making baby bags.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, so there is. So I mean, it is they're all out there, and I think with leather, it's you all also sort of at a similar price point, because leather is just, yeah, it is just expensive. But that's why I also do my non-real leather one, because it is nice to have that option for people as well who can't afford, because babies are expensive
Mm-hmm.
and the other things that you need to buy. Um, and yeah, I think it's yeah, babies just generally are expensive. So I think for
Yeah.
people, so yeah, so I suppose you just have to prioritize, what you really need. Or some people also get friends to put in a few hundred rand each, and yeah, I mean, like I say, that the leather lasts, and it's something you can use every day, or you often do, with babies. So it's a useful thing. So it is a bit of a luxury, but I also think in some ways it can be a bit of a necessity, and also it makes you feel good when you're carrying a nice bag, and yeah.
Definitely. Well, like I said, I in my intro before this, I didn't have a Gene Kelly bag, and I remember seeing them at the play park or wherever we saw them out, and like it's all that you want. It looks beautiful. Like the mums that have your bags are just so nicely organized, and the pockets, and it's just gorgeous, and it cleans well. You can kind of just clean it on the outside. So, like you said, I think it's definitely a necessity, and well done for kind of navigating that, because like I said, quite a few of our bus mums in our groups, they do have products that are on the pricier end, and particularly, I mean, like you said, even thinking about exporting it. I think particularly in the South African market, that's hard because they don't have as much income anymore, and people are struggling with that, just getting by. Um, so that's a really real challenge that a lot of, I think, business owners and particularly business mums have, is trying to keep that quality high. So well done for doing that. And then going on to, I think, the question that so many of our audience always wants to know about is just that juggle between, and I guess, like, I hate the phrase, but mum work balance and the juggle
Yes.
between really growing a business and looking after your family. And I'm curious about how that looked. Obviously, it looks very different in every home. How has that looked in your home how old are your children? How's that looked from the beginning? Did you have help? How have you kind of navigated that, putting your life into both mum life and business life?
Yeah. Yeah, so probably not very, very well these last few years, because it's just my mom and I, so we don't have help.
Okay.
So it is a real juggle, but I've got a 5 and a 2-year-old, little girls. So the 5-year-old's at school, but only till 12, which goes very quickly. And then we've
Mm-hmm.
got the other little one at home. So between my mom and I, we juggle a lot. But yeah, we manage to get things done. And like I say, I'm often working at night, but that's just the way it is. And I think as the girls get older, then I'll have more time again to fully focus. But I feel very like blessed and spoiled that I have that time, so that I can pick up my girls from school, and then I can do those things is very lucky. So although I might work at night, it's not the end of the world, because have so much time in the day. And also for myself, I could meet a friend for coffee, or do things like that too.
I want to stop this conversation for a teeny tiny little while just to remind you all about Eco Nappy. Eco Nappy is a business who has recently partnered with the Parent Hub, and we are so excited to have partners like this on board. So while we're talking about luxurious, incredible baby bags, we might as well talk about the nappies that are going into those bags. So our leaders and our mums have all tried these Eco Nappies, and we are getting the reviews back. They are amazing. They are not only sustainable, so you're doing something great for the environment, but your babies are more comfortable. They are sleeping through the night. They are not getting wet through the night. So I really wanted to encourage you, if you haven't yet, try Eco Nappy. Thanks. Let's get back to the conversation. How are you navigating that time? And, like, particularly, what do you have any particular habits or mindsets that you have had to adjust to? Because that is a lot. My children also come home at 12:30, and I don't know, you think that that day is a lot longer than it is, but it goes so fast. So what kind of habits or mindsets do you have that you are looking after yourself, looking after your children, looking after your business? Because it is a lot to juggle. And I feel like we are in a generation where all of a sudden these things are expected of us more than I think they ever have been before. And when we do start to drop any balls, there's so much guilt that comes with that. So I'm always curious about how ladies are kind of juggling that. And yeah, if they have habits in place, are you exercising? Do you just let that part go and just say for one day you'll have it back?
No, yeah. So no, I'm quite good, I think, at trying to have a life balance. So I will like do a run with friends, and so I catch up with them, take the dog. So that's so killing a few birds with one stone, all in one go. Um, and yeah, I mean, I'd say I'm not actually really that organized, to be honest, but I try try to get things done. Like I say, I suppose you're just busy and you sort of muddle along. Um, but yeah, it doesn't feel like there's enough time in the day, to be honest, to get through everything. But I think, one can't be hard on yourself, because I suppose also a phase when your little ones need you more. So I think we have to enjoy it. And then maybe later on then I'll be very, very business and driven, and get things going.
I love that. And I tell myself that a lot as well. It's like it is just a phase and it goes fast. My oldest one is now 8. And already there are so many changes in him that he doesn't need me as much anymore. And he's much busier and much more like friends orientated. Then I have a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old. So they still very much need their mum. And it's something, yeah, it can get frustrating and it can very easily get just overwhelming, I guess. But that's also something that I have to remind myself of so much, is that it is just a phase. And I feel like if I look back and I haven't given them that time, I feel like it's something that I'll regret more than I'll regret not giving my business the time that it needs. So it's always nice
Yes.
to hear other people's perspectives on that. Kelly, last question before we go, and it's just a very broad kind of, what advice do you have for other mums who are navigating this journey of raising families, growing businesses, and just being a boss mum?
I think you have to be patient. I think things, with business often takes time to build a brand and to get established. I think often one just thinks, it'll happen overnight, but yeah, it takes time for people to trust you and all of that. And I think it's also important before you go into the market to do your market research, like
Mm.
your pricing and to do all of that is yeah, to do all, I suppose, all the background, which is very boring. You don't want to spend too much time on it because I think some people, you can spend almost more time on that than the actual practical business side.
Procrastination.
But yeah, and do a whole, like, on paper, you could do a whole thing, but yeah, it's always good to make sure that you yeah, do your research, I suppose, on your market and pricing and competition and all of that, I would
Mm.
say. Yeah.
Love it. Kelly, thank you so much for joining us this morning. And like I have already said in the intro, but please, if you can, support Kelly and support Jean Kelly in any way, because, yeah, I really feel like as mums and as business owners, we got to stick together. We got to do it together. So well done on just an incredible, incredible brand. Like I said, something that I've known about from before I became a mum. And it was always my goal to have a Jean Kelly bag. So they are gorgeous and just incredible brand. I've loved chatting to you and getting to know you a bit better as well. So thank you for joining us and teaching our Boss Mum audience.
Thank you so much, Christy. I so appreciate it.
And we will definitely catch up again. Thanks, Kelly. Have
Okay.
a wonderful day. And to all of our audience, have a wonderful day. Goodbye.
Bye.